Hopefully they work.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Comedy Island with Graham Elwood and James Monet, everybody. Aloha. We are here at the world-famous stand-up Honolulu in the beautiful island of Oahu. I know it is a little after 10 o'clock on the West Coast, which makes it 1 a.m. on the East Coast, but it's a little after 7 if you're, it's 7:01 if you're in Hawaiian time. Maybe you're in the Cook Islands, which is also the same time.
Is that?
Yeah.
Cook Island the same time as us? I didn't know that.
It's like due south. Cook Islands is like almost like due south of us. So hello, we've got Tony DeMeo. We've got people watching on YouTube and Facebook and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Light, is it coming in?
Yeah, I hear you. I should be talking to see if I hear me. Let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I hear me now.
All right,
cool.
We got that squared up.
It doesn't look blurry either.
Yeah, we moved it a little closer. We got the mic's still more dialed in.
And we rebooted the Wi-Fi.
We had to reboot. We had to do the standard reboot the Wi-Fi. That old classic.
That old dig. Wait a minute. I'm trying to share it on my. So we this podcast is 2 weeks old. So it's the second episode. So bear with us as we work out the bugs.
Yes.
Because normally, I don't know about you, but when I start a podcast, I'll do like three or five episodes that don't get aired. I just to practice.
I just put it out there, man. I've always just air it. Who cares? Let's go. Hello, everybody in the chat. Shoni DeMeo, Kinky, Maui. Oh, sweet. We got people. The weather is horrible. Don't come.
Keep them at home, man. Tell them, hey, you guys on the mainland, stay home.
Stay home. Go to Florida.
Go check out. When you get to California, then that's the wall.
Go south. When you get to California, make a left and go down to Costa Rica or something.
TJ's. Stop at TJ's and get yourself. There's surf down there, right? There's surf in Mexico.
Oh my God, there's great surf. Baja, Mexico's great. Costa Rica, I went there on a surf trip with my buddy, and like 4 years ago, and it was amazing. I mean, obviously there's great surf here, but like Costa Rica's great, and the people are nice. It was really cool.
Costa Rica's in the Caribbean?
Well, it's in Central America, so one side of the country is on the Pacific side and one side is on the Caribbean side.
I just asked that so I keep you talking.
Oh, it's great. It's good stall. Really good stall while you're posting. It's really.
I need to get my 5 people that watch and listen to watch and listen. So I'm posting. Apologize. I know this is your second podcast today, so yeah. You've been talking.
I've been talking. I'm from Scotland. I'm wasted. Outstanding. TJ's. Maui bro. Oi, nice. Right on. Good to see local. That's right on. Kinky. I'm drinking Barbados rum. It's nice.
We talk about the Caribbean, I mentioned Caribbean, and Barbados is in the Caribbean, right?
Barbados is in the Caribbean.
I think that's my theory. When I ask a question, I'm always going to ask if it's from that one place.
Is it in the Caribbean? Just anywhere.
Yeah. Croatia. That's in the Caribbean.
That's in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
C and C, right? Unless you spell Croatia with a K, then it would be in Kathmandu.
Well, half of Croatia is in Eastern Europe and the other half is in the Caribbean. So it's a very wide country geographically.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, there's that boat trip across the Atlantic is just real short.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not as long as those people were saying it was. Oh, the camera's still good, right?
The camera's still good. Here's what I'm doing. I'm not cutting you out, James.
You moved the monitor, and the monitor only had your face. I was like,
well, because I have to zoom in to read what the chat is saying.
Ah, I see.
So from here, I can't really see it. So if I zoom in, then I can see what the chat is saying, but it cuts you out.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All
Yeah.
right. Drinking kinky. Oh, cool.
All right, nice.
Better in the Bahamas. I've never been to the Bahamas. The
Wow.
closest I've got to is Orlando, Florida.
That's the same, pretty much. It's the same.
They got alligators in the Caribbean.
Well, the Caribbean, I'd say I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Turks and Caicos.
That's a real place?
It's a real place.
Oh, okay. Thought it was something they made up on The Office. Turks and Caicos. Oh, my chair. There we go.
No, it's real.
Comfortable.
And
Is it for surfing? Because you're a surfer.
well, that actually, somebody said, Graham, come do a show on Maui. I'm trying to set that up. There's a comic on Maui that is setting up shows, and I've talked to him, and I've been trying to come out.
Yeah, give a shout out to Chino LaForge.
Chino LaForge.
Also, Ted Anderson. And I know they were talking about a new place, but I didn't know that new place.
Yeah, I don't know the new place either. We were talking about it the other day, but yeah, definitely, man. Shows in Maui and the Big Island. I'm definitely trying to set up.
Yep, the Big Island is Mumma, Mumma.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's shows on the other islands. We would love to come down. I guess you guys asked only for Graham, so
We'll come. James will come with me.
No, too late. It's okay. I see how it is. Nobody said James come down. They said Graham. Because they're tired of local comedians. It's like, yeah, we already saw what you got. So
James is a very funny comic.
yeah.
James is very, and he's not just local. Like you translate. If you've never seen James Mane do stand up, go to Amazon Prime and watch the First Nations Comedy Experience.
Which is a Graham show.
Yeah, it's a show I directed.
It's so cool how you just did that. That's amazing. Out of all the things I've done, you picked the one thing that
I directed.
Yes.
That's
produced, directed, and edited, and a huge part, and performed in.
I performed in. So Tony DeMan's asking, what's the topic tonight? So yeah, that's a good thing. I've been trying to do this on my live streams because Kate, my assistant, said it's a good idea at the top of the show to say, oh, we're going to talk about these things.
Cool.
So what are we going to get into today?
So today we'll get into the high surf that hit Maui and the Big Island over the weekend, like crazy high surf.
Crazy high surf.
You guys might have already seen the viral videos that are hitting the social media platforms. It's weird. It's like I'm doing a news or something. Also, wanted to talk about sports and some of the controversial things that are happening with, I guess. Is it controversial with youth sports, like the participation trophy?
It's important you should know because James is a high school football coach, in addition to being a very funny comic. So
also a Gen Xer.
And a Gen Xer. We're two Gen Xers. So we're going to talk about the big surf that hit, and South Shore of Waikiki got a little bit, man. I was in some sweet.
Yeah, because Saturday I was at Ala Moana actually Magic Island, which is part of Ala Moana Beach Park, and looking like, wow, it looks busy out there. Like the parking was insane because the surf was up, and I usually don't see Ala Moana as like a place to go to surf. I'm not a surfer, but just you can tell when there's a lot of cars circling for parking. Everybody's trying to get out to the ocean.
So this show will always talk about a little bit about comedy. We'll talk about the big surf local stuff, and we'll talk about sports. We always talk about sports and maybe some local politics. So what do you want to get into first? We want to get into.
Well, obviously the surf. I mean, we're talking about you doing yoga over the weekend, and it must have been tough. You're doing yoga, but you can see the ocean from where you're doing like. Yoga?
I did beach yoga. So I did Sunday. This is my perfect day. I mean, this is the perfect day for me. We did a brunch comedy show at the Blue Note, which was super fun. We did a couple of them last summer, and at first I was like, brunch, but it makes perfect sense because it's locals and tourists. I think the locals like coming into Waikiki in the mornings because it's not crowded.
Oh yeah, like some of them may be partying the night before, spent the night at the hotel and then just said, hey, there's a show, let's go check it out.
Yeah, I think it was that, and then like And it was, there were some tours. I think it was probably a 60-40 local to tourist show. And the Blue Note is like one of my favorite clubs to perform at ever now. I mean, I love the way it's run, and big name musicians have been on that stage. And I'm just a jazz fan, so the Blue Note in New York and the Blue Note Records is the history of it means a lot to me. So we had a very fun show Sunday morning. And then Jackie, one of the waitresses there, was like, hey, I just am getting my teacher training for yoga. I'm going to do a class just for like the Blue Note staff. And Graham, I know, because I talk about it in my act, obviously. Do you want to come do yoga tonight at this park?
Also, it was afternoon show.
Yeah, it was like evening. It was like 6:15, 6:30 at night. So I was like, cool. And then after the show, hung out, talked a little bit, came home, watched a little baseball, and then I went out surfing because it was about 5. Surfline was saying 6 to 10 in Waikiki, but it was more like 5 to 7. But still, just to give you a quick backdrop of surfing here. So in the winter, the North Shore is when the big waves hit. So you've
40-foot waves in Waimea.
Yeah. 40-foot waves in Waimea. The North Shore of Maui is Jaws. You've ever seen those huge? That's Maui. Gets to the North Shore of most of the state. Hawaii gets the big waves. But the North Shore of Oahu is where the pipeline is. Like, so that's why the Triple Crown of surfing is the Pipeline Masters, the Eddie Aikau, which is in honor of Eddie Aikau. That's in Waimea Bay. And then I forget the name of the third one, but those are the 3 big surfing events every winter. The Eddie is only when it's a certain height. It has to be like over 30 feet or something.
Consistently.
Yes. But the Pipeline Masters goes on every year. And this year I went to it, and
so you saw.
Kelly Slater won at age 50. It was nuts. So just to give you some context, in the winter, the North Shore gets the big waves, and the South Shores are flat. Typically, you might get a little peak here and there.
And that's why most of the kids that cut school to go surfing happens in the winter.
Yes.
So that's why they have to cut school. But in the summer, it's usually flat.
It's usually flat. But
diving goes.
In the summer, the South Shore gets bigger waves. They're usually never the 20, 30, 40-foot waves like you get in the winter. But you get decent sized waves. And Waikiki and most of the South Shore breaks like Ala Moana, mainly Waikiki is like, there's a lot of locals that surf there and a lot of tourists. It's a very easy wave. It's a great wave to learn on. There's all the surf instructors there. But when it gets big, oh my goodness, like the waves start breaking further out than they normally. There's all these reefs that don't normally, they're not shallow enough to create a wave until a big surf comes in. So then there's like this way outer break that I couldn't even get out to. And there's just like a half a dozen like local guys just carving up. Some guys were getting barreled. And then there's a second break, and I was on that one. And then there's like a third one that's inside that's still just for like the classes and the tourists and stuff.
Like ski slopes or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like out there's Black Diamond, and it's totally like that. So the thing when a swell hits the South Shore, you see some different things. Like there's usually not a lot of people on short boards on the South Shore, because it's all longboard waves.
Right.
Because when the waves are smaller, longboards are easy to catch. But when it gets big, all these guys come out with shortboards. Guys from the North Shore come down to the South Shore, and
the shredders.
Oh my God! And they are just ripping, man. They are just ripping. So it was so fun. And then after that, I did yoga by the beach that this waitress taught. And I was like, I was just sitting there, and we're just the ocean, and she's doing yoga, and I'm like, this is the perfect day. I told.
And it looked like it was breezy too. Like so, the weather was like perfect for it.
Perfect, and because it was a little overcast, so it wasn't like hot sun. It was late in the day. Man, I just sat there. I was like, this is my perfect day. I told jokes, I surfed, and I did yoga. Like I can't think of a better. If I could have woven watching baseball, like live baseball game in there, that would have been that would have capped it out. So
that sounds like in a peaceful,
it was
tranquil, which you needed from the week you had, I guess.
Yes.
I go totally opposite.
What'd you do?
I didn't go in the ocean. I didn't go to nothing with nature. It was myself, my daughter. She's leaving in a couple of weeks, so, and
she's home from college.
Yeah, so we vegged out in front of the TV, watching a marathon of The Amazing Race. So we watched other people race and yell at each other while we just ate food. And I actually did go to the beach on Saturday, but it wasn't to go to the beach. It was the guy who recruited me to play at University of Buffalo was visiting.
Boy, we got to give a backstory here. This is only a second episode.
Okay.
You got to tell them
that I went to school in Buffalo.
Yeah, you were a Division I scholarship football player.
Yeah. So in '90, I graduated in '93, and then I got recruited to play a few schools, but I decided to go to the University of Buffalo. First of all, they lied to me, and I tell the coach the same thing. I say, Coach, people ask me, why'd you go to Buffalo? And in front of the coach, I was like, oh, he lied to me. That's why he told me during the recruiting trip, which I took, it was like free trip. Why not? They flew me out there, spent the weekend, and it was like 15, 20 degrees. And I was like, oh, this is the coldest it ever gets here in Buffalo. So me being from Hawaii, I was like, it's not bad. It's not bad. I had fun. My first time seeing snow, making snowballs is so much fun. I was like, wow, we don't have this in Hawaii. 15 degrees. I can handle this. And it was nighttime. So I was like, it gets warmer in the day. Okay. My sisters lived in Pittsburgh at the time. So I was like, I'll come here. I didn't go to Utah. I didn't go to University of Hawaii. I said, I'm going to Buffalo, New York. And so this coach that recruited me, he's now the head coach at Army. Jeff Munkin, shout out. Great guy, came down to visit. And he had a get together for myself. There's another kid that was recruited from, his name is Aaron. So both of us recruited. He invited us to come and hang out with him and his family at the park. Magic Island, which is just right next to Alamona Beach Park. And went to see him. So this is how ghetto me and my daughter is. So this is confession time.
I love this story.
This is confession time. So we went to, it was a potluck. So everybody brings something. He said, bring something that can feed 4 people. So we went and we got some food, Chinese food, like buns with meat in it called manapua, and pork hash and gaoji. So we went, and it was a good amount for 4 people. And we pulled up, and it turned into a University of Hawaii football alumni get together, and there was over 100 people there. They had a Natural Vibration playing. My daughter was on there. She said, is that Natural Vibration? I was like, I'm not sure. And oh my goodness, I can't believe they're performing. And it was awesome. It was University of Hawaii football, like legends that I know growing up. And I was like, all right. So we finally found parking. We walked there, and I was like, I didn't bring enough food to feed all these people. So my daughter was like, well, let's just keep the food in the car, and we'll just take it home to eat. And I was like, sure. He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, fine. So we get there, say hi to coach, say hi to a bunch of friends. Tumoa's parents were there.
Okay.
The dad is an alum also. And, met the current University of Hawaii football coach, Timmy Chang.
Oh, he's a new coach, right?
Yeah. So him and
because he played back when they were really good, he was on one of those teams.
He was actually I think he had the record for passing yardage for a time, and then that I don't know who broke that, but he was also a Heisman hopeful. He was in the running.
And I just want to say this. Here's the thing you got to understand about Oahu. So there's no pro sports team here. So it's like a college town. So the college this is the thing. I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, and you know, Green Bay and the Milwaukee Brewers, you could drive 2-3 hours away, but it was like, so I always say it's like a college town. So if you've ever lived in a college town or been to a college town, you know that the college, that's all everybody talks about. And the football team's a big deal, and the volleyball teams are very good, and even we've gone to baseball games, and you know, so just when he says UH, that's University of Hawaii, and it's this whole island for sure, the whole state, but this island really gets behind the UH.
Yeah, huge fans.
Yeah.
So, and it was pretty cool to see all these NFL, I mean not NFL, but UH legends, University of Hawaii legends. So it was pretty cool. But like we were just gonna like just say hello to my friend and his family, and then hang out for like 10-15 minutes, catch up, and it's like, well, we'll leave because we didn't bring our food out. But we looked, they had a ton of food. And then it was like, oh, go get something to eat. Go get something to eat. And I was like, no. Sorry. Sure. And so me and my daughter went and we made ourselves some plates and we sat down and ate, guilt-free.
Knowing you had food in your car that you bought for this event that you're now going to take home.
Yeah. So we was like, and I looked at her, I was like, you sure? I mean, I shouldn't put it on her. She just turned 18. She hasn't been an adult for that very long.
Right.
I should have been made, the executive.
College kids don't know about like you don't show up empty-handed to a party. They don't know that yet.
And then made it worse was when we were about to leave, we were like, all right, let's we've been here a little over an hour, talk to as many people as we're going to talk to. Let's go. Say, all right, cool. Put the food in that car. Needs to go home. And then they're like, you guys are not leaving until you take some food home. It's like, no, we got plenty. And they're like, no, go. And then they were going to give my daughter a tray of food, but she said, I felt bad. So I said, no, I just take a plate. I was like, oh, so that's different. We ate and we took a plate home. Your conscience is cleared, right?
So you bought food that you ended up just keeping for yourselves.
Yeah.
You ate there and then took food home.
Yeah. And then the next day, Sunday, watched like 10 episodes of The Amazing Race while eating all that food that we bought. He's like, go warm up the food.
Fantastic. And I love that you're like, it's funny because that's actually something I would have done in college. Is like, because in college you're always running, you're always hungry.
Yeah. You're always running out.
You never have any money. And when you do, the food you eat at home is always just like ramen and crappy food or whatever, Hamburger Helper. And so whenever you go somewhere that had free food, you'd like grab it. And if people like, take some leftovers, are you sure? You'd be like, you already filled your bag up. Like,
it's like, no, while you're still loading up. Like, no, you sure? Okay.
I remember I was such a mooch in college and we were always we went to a party. And we were always hungry. We're at the party and we're like, let's go check out their kitchen. And so we go in their kitchen and we're like eating food. And I found a box of Lucky Charms. Oh, and I'm just sitting there eating Lucky Charms. And this girl comes in and goes, are you eating my cereal? And I was like, and my buddies were standing there. And of course I'd had a couple beers or whatever. And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm a diabetic. And I was going and I started shaking around and then I started eating the cereal. Oh, sorry. I was going into diabetic.
At least we didn't put on an act. We didn't spill the beans, but we didn't put on an act.
Yeah, what I did was 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I pretended to have diabetes and then went into like a diabetic convulsions.
She let you eat it though?
She started I made her laugh. I mean, I had just started doing stand-up, so I had learned at a young age, when I'm in trouble, if I can make the person that's mad at me laugh, I'm good. So she started laughing and I was like, oh, thank you so much. And I put the cereal away and she just like shook her head and my buddies were all falling off her.
What happened to that Graham Elwood? You should bring that dude back where like you're at some place to get your order wrong or you mess up or you're holding up traffic and you just open your door. Hey, check this out, folks. What's up with traffic? Am I right? And it's like, oh, God, you're forgiven.
I mean, I don't go that far because I'm not like stealing anything, but I'm not stealing anything anymore, but I know how to sweet talk my way out of a jam. You know what I mean? Like, I think any comic
You got that turn on the charm.
Yeah, you turn on the charm and the jokes and the hey, sorry, and the hey, and then all of a sudden they're like,
hey, come on, yeah. And what if you did that? Are you eating my Lucky Charms? Hey, come on. Pew, 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 come on.
woo, come on.
Come on.
Everybody.
Horseshoes.
Everybody.
It's like, pew, pew.
I just start talking like a Lucky Charm. Green clovers and purple horseshoes and hey.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been great.
She'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were.
Yeah. You're insulting my heritage by having this here. It's cultural appropriation.
I didn't know you were the leprechaun. So yes, I came to take back my Lucky Charms.
Where's me gold?
I guess that's how the Leprechaun movie came about.
Yeah.
They were just thinking, somebody was smoking weed, and they was like, dude, what if the leprechaun from Lucky Charms came back to take his Lucky Charms back? And he started killing people for it. So, write it down.
Well, that's actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that would happen. But in true Irish folklore, the leprechaun can be kind of mean. They've been Americanized to be all cute and be on a cereal box. But the leprechauns are very mischievous, and they can be a little mean if you mess with them, is how the folklore goes.
That's the American thing, where you just take everything that's like dark,
yeah,
and then you just like cartoon it and say, oh, the American ways.
Hey, Disney.
Yeah.
Like Pocahontas, it was great when they came over here. Yay.
But they're just finding a way to twist it and steal from you.
That's what America is. I'm not going to get too government secrets or political vigilante here, but America.
I tried, folks. I tried. I just keep throwing it out there.
Because I know if I do too much of it, I can always tell when like your body language kind of changes when I like get too much into a thing. When I do it, you're like, okay, Graham, like you have a like, all right, buddy.
That's fine. Sometimes you got to go there, man.
Well, all I was going to say is that's America is just built on lies, and everything's a cover up and a scam so
yeah. So how we got there? Talking about waves. So there's watch videos. It would be cool if we had like a producer or somebody in house. We'd be like, hey, show that clip. Hey, Sandy, roll that clip.
I follow a lot of surfers on Instagram. So Kai Leonard, who's a local surfer. Mm-hmm. And he started posting, oh man, I surf freight trains, which I think is on Maui. It's some famous surf break that only pops at certain times. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I saw these guys posting all these big wave videos, which doesn't happen in the summer. Mm-hmm. Usually just happens in the winter. So that was really
cool. They show like a wedding reception where everybody's standing there and watching the waves. They're like, wow. And all of a sudden the water hits the wall, boom. And then the water just comes over and they're like, oh, wedding over. Like, how do you think that like marriage turns out in the future? Like,
it'll either be they'll fight and get divorced or blah, or it'll be great because if it depends on how they reacted to it. Mm. If they sit there, the wedding's ruined, and the bridezilla freaks out, or if they just go, man, what a crazy wedding, and they laugh and talk about it.
And the bride just has the biggest laugh. Like her mouth's wide open, there's no sound, but she's cracking
up. That this happened on their wedding. They're like, and they're going to laugh about this for the rest of their lives. That'll be a great marriage.
It's the attitude then. It's how you take it. Like, oh, but then what if the dude is like, damn it, waves. And he just pulls out his guns, like shooting at waves.
Well, then she married a psycho. Like he's a nutbag. Like he's
these waves, damn you.
And only an American would think that their gun could stop waves. But yeah.
I made a hole in the waves. Look at all these dead fish. See, it worked out. But there's also a video of waves going over a 2-story house.
Yes.
That was insane.
That was in Maui, right? Or was that?
I believe so. I think the wedding was, no, that was on the Big Island.
Oh.
I think the wedding was on Maui, and that people maybe will correct this as we go. But I believe it was Big Island where it's like a townhouse and it 2-story, and the people were behind the townhouse because they didn't want to stand by where the waves were hitting, and all of a sudden the wave just crashes over the 2-story house.
Those were nuts. I was watching those videos like, wait, did that just happen? Like, I didn't realize, because I was just so focused on surfing Waikike's big waves, I didn't realize they were going 20 feet up up in Maui and the Big Island.
Yeah, that was insane. That
Yeah.
was because usually I think Sasua doesn't really hit there that big. I think
Well, 'cause
Makaha is the only one that I know, but Makaha gets some of that wrap around
Yeah.
from the North Shore.
But the because what's happening, I think, is isn't it one of the hurricanes are out there, Darby, that's bringing a lot of this, or
Oh, is that what it is?
yeah, because that's I mean we're even getting some rain, the last couple days that they're saying is sort of remnants of this hurricane that's way south of us, came over from Mexico, and I think that's what it did is it brought.
If it wasn't on Amazing Race, I wouldn't know because that's all. That's right. I did see something on TikTok where they were saying the same waves that were hitting Tahiti, like those really big.
Yeah, Chopu.
Yeah, and then that's what's also hitting here. So I was like, oh, interesting. Geography. Who knew?
Yeah. That wave is it's called Chopu, TCHO. I can't spell it, but it's pronounced Chopu, and it's very distinct because unlike Pipeline, it's a barrel, but it's a thick, fat, like it hits this reef in a certain way or in a certain swell direction, and it is the most gnarliest. Like there's a surfer that I know, Keala Kennelly, who's a big wave surfer who lives here. You should follow her online. She's really awesome. She's advocated for equal pay for women surfing.
Oh,
she's really solid, man. But she posted, because I met her coming out here doing shows, and when I used to work for Fuel TV, I met her. And she posted a couple, I don't know, this is maybe 6 years ago or something. I can't remember, but she wiped out there and the wave pounded her on the reef and had a chunk of her face got like ripped off from the reef.
Wow.
Like people don't understand these big waves. When we're like, Graham, do you surf those big waves? I'm like, man, just this weekend when I was in like 6 to 8 foot waves, I was like, this is right at the maximum of my skill level. You got to understand, the bigger a wave is, the more dangerous, the faster it is. And on those reef breaks, like Pipeline or Chopo and Tahiti, if you wipe out, the wave pushes you down and then you scrape across the reef.
Pipelines like that?
Pipelines like that, yeah. Because it's like an engineering marvel. Pipeline is this like shallow, what makes Pipeline, they call it the most dangerous wave in the world, because it hits, when the waves are big, it hits this reef and it's in like 10 feet of water, which on a big day, I mean, people have died, people have gotten concussions, people have,
they go under the reef.
Yeah, they get pounded. Yeah, they get pounded into the reef. So it's like, yeah, that's why it's gnarly, but that's why big wave surfers are a different breed. They're a different breed of people. Keala Kennelly, when I moved here a little over a year ago, she was getting ready for hip surgery because she was getting wishboned on big waves, meaning.
Yes, please explain.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you wear a leash around your ankle, and it's whatever your rear ankle is. So if you're what's called a regular foot, your left leg will be forward on your board, your back leg will be your right leg. I think she's goofy foot. So when you wipe out, the leash pulls on you, the board pulls on you. In a 30, 40 foot wave, she goes, you're getting wishbone, meaning your legs are getting like split. And so she had hip trouble. She had to get a hip replacement surgery.
Wow. Like
she even developed this, like, because she couldn't, her hip was in such pain. She took a strap and then connected the leash, like almost like a parachute. So it was connected to her torso. So when she wiped out, her torso was getting pulled, not her leg.
Oh,
wow. James Mane. We want to talk to your daughter live?
No.
No.
Maybe she's telling us, so she's like, oh, pick up. No, I think she's just finished practice or something.
No. Maybe she's just like, this show's not funny.
Yeah. She said, hey, guys.
Stop talking surfing.
Get back to the wishbone.
But yeah, and I remember, this is how big wave surfers think. So I saw her and she's like, yeah, I'm getting surgery. And I said, so what's the timeline? She goes, it's whatever, X amount of weeks. And then I start doing physical therapy and this and that. And I said, so when will you be back in the water? She goes, well, in about 5 months, I can start surfing civilian waves. And I was like, damn.
Civilian waves.
Civilian waves, meaning small.
I was gonna say, does that mean Graham Elwood?
Absolutely, it means Graham Elwood waves. That's absolutely what that means. And I was like, I told all my surf buddies that, and they were like, "Damn, man, that's hardcore."
Wow.
Yeah, big wave surfers are horrible. Another breed.
So that's a surf report from the from Bada Kalani Elwood. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to the comedy scene that we got over here in Honolulu. They got some shows coming up this week. Definitely want to check out Stand Up Honolulu. Thursday nights they do the 9:30 Dirty, which is an open mic. Those of you guys want to come and try stand-up comedy, it's here at 575 Cook Street in Kaka'ako. If looking for a reference, it's like around the corner from Workplay Hawaii, maybe like half a mile from Salt. So we're in the Kaka'ako area near the park. Google it, Stand Up Honolulu, and find it. Come out Thursday night. They have a mixed plate of shows this coming weekend. Go check out their website, standuphonolulu.com. Follow them on Instagram at standuphnl. That's on Instagram at standuphnl. There's other comedy shows going on as well.
The Comedy U does shows. Yep. They just, they produced the brunch I did. They do Slack Key Tuesday nights, and Thursday I'll be performing in Taqueria in Kapolei. Kapolei on the west side. If you're on the west side,
if you're on the west side, go check me out. If you're in town Central, come out here to Stand Up Honolulu. Also Saturday, Friends of Squared Barrels with Patrick Terrell.
Yeah, that's a fun show. That's a fun show.
So there's other shows, I believe. I'm not sure because we haven't really seen too many of their posts. That's usually how I find out. So if you follow them, you can follow Friends at Squared Barrel with Patrick Terrell. That's on Instagram, Friends at Squared Barrels, or comedyu.hi on Instagram at comedyu.hi.
Yeah, if you're here, come out, support there's like good local comics. They're working hard. There's a lot of young people really working on their craft, and they're very lucky because there's a lot of good stage time here to work on what they're doing. So
it's a good time for you to get started too, because very supportive scene. If you have the drive, you have people like our friend Tumo Tuine, who's about to sell out the Blaisdell Arena. We want to like promote his show, but he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it. He's
sold out already.
It's sold out. He's selling out an arena show.
Yeah. And it's July. It started, I think tickets went on sale like the first week of July, and it's almost sold out. And the show's not till November 12th.
And he's opening for him.
Boom. Yeah. So check out the Hawaii comedy scene. There's a lot going on. Those of you that live here on Oahu, please come out and support. We made a new fan here Saturday night at Stand Up Honolulu who had no idea that there was a comedy scene outside of the big comics that Hawaii usually has, So she's like, wow, this is very nice. And, see you again at the next show here at the world famous Stand Up Honolulu. And then cue commercial and
sound music. So let's get into we're going to talk a little sports. You want to talk sports now?
Yeah, I guess because I'm a high school coach. My daughter is playing in college. We're both former athletes or former. We're still athletes. We used to play organized sports.
We were very big. We both played. I mean, I played football in high school. I have a high school football body. He has a Division I college.
Overweight body.
No, I didn't say that.
Has been.
No.
Yeah. But it's funny because you had you could not guess what position Graham Elwood played. If you're guessing and you get it right, you were commenting
as a joke.
Position? You were commenting as a joke. You're like, oh, I bet you, yada, yada. And you start type out what you think Graham Elwood played. Yes. And then we'll read it as you guys start typing in.
Yeah, but type that in. I'll check over on Rockfin as well. First of all, Kari Nanstad, thank you so much for supporting Comedy Island. Boom. Over at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Love Slack Key, right on. Mariners doing great. They won 14 straight. I know that's really cool.
Is it though?
I mean, it's cool in the sense that, I mean, I don't know. I initially,
if you're a Mariners fan,
you're a Mariners fan, you're loving it. Obviously, Carrie Nansen might be a Mariners fan.
Mm-hmm.
My adoptive American League team, I'm a Cubs fan, right? My adoptive American League team, I know it's a tough summer. It's a tough summer for us. My adoptive American League team was, I guess it still sort of is the Angels, because Joe Madden was coaching there. I really like Ohtani. He's an exciting player. I think this is awesome to watch a guy that's pitching and hitting the way he is. Mike Trout is a very fun player to watch. And they started this season like, they got a little team here. They could make a run. And then they lost like 14 in a row. They fired Joe Madden. And I was like, it was early. It was still June. I'm like, you guys could still put it together. And now now with the Mariners, who's in their division winning 14 straight, it's like, Angels.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. Still a half a season left of baseball, but you guys are running out of time.
I'm more of a fan of like NBA and baseball. I'm more of a fan of players than teams. Like, I always cheer for the players from Japan that are playing in the major league, right? Because we're near Japan and we have a lot of.
The Cubs have a player, Suzuki. He's a very, very good player.
And then, of course, the players that are from Hawaii and especially Polynesian players, because it's not too many, but was it Kiner Falefa, who's shortstop for the Yankees. That's amazing. I mean, to be a Yankees shortstop, to say that, that's crazy. And he's doing well.
Yeah.
You know, he actually works out tactical strength and fitness here in Honolulu, where Tyler, my daughter, goes to work out, and she sees that him there, Max Holloway, Yancy Maderas, and a bunch of other people that Ezekiel Lau, professional surfer.
Nice.
So she sees a lot of these professional athletes training in this place.
And you and I were talking about this because she's a college athlete, and she's operating at a high level. She's a freshman, or going to be a sophomore. And we were saying, like, you go to a gym like that, when you see how professionals train, not just some guy working out on the weekends, you see the difference.
Some of these.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lose the handles. Well, you should get rid of the weights. That way you won't bulk up.
You see pros. I remember when I moved to LA, I had a Bally's membership, and then I moved. Remember Bally's? And then I moved from the Valley to Santa Monica. And right down the street from me in Venice Beach was the Gold's Gym, the original one. The Gold's Gym. And I was like, oh, so I got a membership there. And I was like, most gyms, there's one or two like pro bodybuilders. Mm-hmm. Everyone there. I mean, Arnold's picture is on the wall. And then there's like, there's, I saw Lisa Leslie, who at the time was playing for the Sparks. I saw NFL, NBA players come through there. I saw MMA guys come through there. I remember one time I was there working out, and the Bulls were in town, and they had a couple of days off between playing the Lakers and the Clippers. And I was like, working out, all of a sudden, I'm like, why are these tight? I'm like, there's Derrick Rose. Like, there's the Bulls were working out on their off day at the Gold's Gym in Venice Beach.
That's gotta be like they're doing it to be seen. Like, they have places to go work out. You know what I mean? Like, go work out in that facility that you guys have, or Lakers have, or whatever. That's gotta be like, all right, hey, let's go work out at this place and let's go show off. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, dude. I saw what's his name? Willie McGinnis, the linebacker for the Patriots, was in there.
Formerly, but he's from USC, so that's could be like home gym for him. And the other people, they don't live in LA. Come on, man. All the gyms, you could have went to Bally's, man.
No, they've never.
Or 24-hour Fitness, whatever it is.
They ain't going in there.
No, we're going to go to Gold's Gym.
It was, and there was so many big time celebrity. Nobody bothered them. No one's pulling out a camera.
Because they're used to that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why then.
Yeah. No one's gonna hassle you. Gabby Reese was in there. Laird Hamilton's, and I'm like, she is. I've seen her in person a couple of times. I saw her at the Costco in Kauai once. She's 6'4", 6'5", Like when you see a woman that tall,
Hmm.
it stands out. And so here are the positions. They said
Okay.
cornerback, no. Cheerleader, haha, very funny.
Yes.
Um,
Graham looks good in his cheerleader.
yeah, I wear my cheering outfit.
He wears it when he goes to yoga.
Yeah, that's what I wear. And no, has Graham been in a surfing contest? No, I'm not that good. Quarterback, ooh, I played quarterback my freshman year. Must have been an expensive membership. It was not. Maybe outside linebacker or end, giving receivers a hard time. I was an inside linebacker.
You were an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I was an offensive lineman.
Because the reason I say this, what was your number?
It was, well, let's see, it was 60. It was 65 my sophomore year. It was 62 my junior and senior year.
That is none of those positions. Yeah. No quarterback is like, yeah, no, everybody on 62. It's like, no. That's why I laugh, because he tells me he played, linebacker and whatever. But then he's like, but your number,
Yeah.
your number tells you what position you play. You're an offensive line, which I was most of my life, and I'm proud to welcome you to the team, my friend. So this is the Offensive Line podcast with Graham and James.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
He was more like a 1960s or 1950s offensive lineman weight, and I was the 1990s offensive lineman weight.
I played with a lot of guys that were a lot bigger than me. I wasn't fast, but I was quick. You know what I mean? Like, and I was we did a lot of pulling, so I was a pulling guard. So I was always very quick coming around, and we ran a lot of sweeps and stuff like that, which I loved, coming down the line and tackling.
Because back in those days you could.
Yeah.
Now you get flagged for you hitting a player who wasn't ready to be hit or something. So the rules, that's part of what I kind of wanted to talk to you about, was how things have changed from our days where you never got a participation trophy.
No.
The participation was you got a bag, a team bag. And it was like a duffel bag that was like an old baseball duffel bag, and it had a team name that was put on tape and then taped on the bag.
We didn't even give a bag, man. We got one of those big canvas bags with the drawstring for football, and they just throw all your gear in. That was it. That's what we had.
Yeah. And now they got to have like the top of the line or the best brand, and I think that's why sports is the way it is.
The thing I noticed, and what really noticed the difference for me is, like, especially, so I have 6 nieces and nephews. 2 live in Oregon, one lives in Minnesota, and then 3, my brother's kids, live in Evanston, the town. So my brother's kids, 2 of his kids have already graduated from the high school that my brother and I went to, and his youngest daughter is going to be there soon.
That's cool. That's legacy.
It is cool. And the thing I noticed, like when my niece and nephew, she played softball, he played baseball, and I mean, all these camps and leagues, and I was like, we didn't have any of that. Yeah. My niece loved softball. She was all conference pitcher. In the off season, I'd come visit in the winter. She's going to hitting camp. She was off season pitching. And I was like, we didn't have it. And I was talking to my brother. He goes, oh, Graham. He goes, yeah, because there's it. And I go, this has got to be so expensive. He goes, oh yeah, man.
It's a huge business though. Yeah. My daughter, who was a soccer player, your friend there, is it flying? They moved up, but they said they played soccer.
Nice.
So yeah, it was footwork training.
Somebody wrote mouthful of blood, stuff like that, participation memories. Yeah, that was my partition. Yeah.
I literally had one of the players, I was a freshman and he was a sophomore. And that's a huge difference.
Yes.
Coming in as a freshman, you haven't played a year before, where this sophomore had a year, he's a returnee. And it was my cousin. And he was huge, like not only huge, but he lifted weights. I lift weights. I was a freshman coming in, and I was the slowest guy on the team at the time. And he hit my face mask, and my chin strap caught my upper lip, and it tore that webbing that's between your lip and your gums. tore it, and my mouth is covered in blood. And my coach is laughing at me. Oh, you're going to cry? Yes, because I've never seen this before. I've never seen this violence before. Movies, we didn't see it like how the kids see it today, but it was just my mouth was just covered in blood. I just had to go rinse it out and come right back.
Oh, dude, I remember when I started playing. First time I played tackle football was in the 8th grade. I played at Pop Warner, the Chicago High Ridge Chargers. And I
Go Chargers.
Go Chargers, baby. I loved it. It was run by Chicago cops.
Oh, there.
So it was a lot of like keep kids off the street kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Coaches smoking on the side.
Oh, God, these Chicago cops. We would drive to games in a Chicago police bus. It was intimidating, man. Like cages on the wall. We'd be chanting as we'd roll in. And it was awesome. And but I remember I went to summer camp, and it's my first time doing like intense physical training. Like I played flag football, but I was never like, and it was like all day. It wasn't 2 days in the 8th grade. That happened in high school, but it was you running, sweating. I mean, you just like, and I remember coming home and I counted like 25 bruises. I had bruises. I had never, I was so sore, but I loved it.
Because a lot of the hitting was this.
Oh, it was all this.
It was all this. So yeah, I had all those dents and bruises. Yeah. I know what you said.
And so the question of quarterback, so my high school, Evanston Township High School, Go Wildcats, freshman year, they had an A and a B team because there was enough kids that wanted to play, but also because like you say, at that age, people, the sizes. And so when you're 14, so I was on the B team because I was smaller. I hadn't even grown. I'm 5'10" now. I hadn't even grown. And so I was a quarterback and I was a starting quarterback for a couple of games until the backup quarterback named Kevin Foster. And if someone wants to Google that name, he played for the Cubs. He was a major league pitcher for my high school. He died several years ago of cancer, rest his soul. He was a really good dude. But I was playing quarterback and I was doing okay because I could kind of lead the team. But he, as it turned out, had a little better arm than I did. Just a little bit. Slight better arm than I did.
Sure, it wasn't politics. He knew the coach dad or something. It's like the parents donated a little extra to the.
There was no politics. It was like this kid's got an arm, and he ended up playing major league. He was a major league pitcher.
How is that though? Like you're like, yeah, guys, let's get ready for practice and get under center, and all of a sudden a kid just shows up and just outdoes you.
It was like, I'll say this. I had the football mentality. That's why he ended up being a baseball player. I had the like, I want to hit, I want to go, but he had the arm, and he ended up. I think he played football his freshman year, and then he just focused on baseball.
And then they say, Graham, go play guard.
Yeah, go play guard. Give us the ball, Graham. Give us the ball.
You had the football mentality at right guard. Yeah,
but you do not have the arm.
Yes, go pull. See, you're Samoan too, man.
And then I played linebacker my junior and senior year and then senior I was the captain of the team. I love being linebacker because you're the defensive captain and you're kind of the quarterback calling the shots, and I love that. And I love the open field hitting you could do as a linebacker.
Oh God, yeah. So there's a lot of things that's changed. Like even with when I talk to the kids that I coach, our days we had football camp, which was it was called Hell Week. We spent a week at the school. So you slept at the school. You were fed, but you woke up at 5 a.m. You would jog a few miles. We would jog from the high school down to Pro Ridge Shopping Center and back. And then we would have breakfast. And then we'd have morning practice. And then we have lunch. And then we have afternoon practice. And then we had dinner. And then we had special teams night practice.
Dang.
And then sleep. So we did that from Monday through Friday. And then Saturday was a scrimmage game under the lights, whether it's us versus ourselves, green and white game, or another team will play us. But we don't do that now. And now there's like all these rules and I think a lot of it had to do with CTE,
the brain, the brain thing,
and parents complaining. So a lot of things that change in high school is because a parent complained about something. And then once a parent complains, everything has to change. So everything has to stop. So they don't even do 2-a-days anymore. But as far as where I'm coaching at, we don't do 2-a-days.
What?
Yeah. So I don't think a lot of schools do that. I think that's almost illegal now.
Oh.
So there's no 2-a-days where, the second practice you're coming in like, and the coach says, once you warm up, it'll feel better. So let's start running. It's like,
I remember just 2-a-days. I would just come home, eat dinner, and like fall asleep at 8:30 or something at night.
Yeah. Because even in college too, when I went up for camp before school starts, you have like a couple of weeks that you're up there, and you had the 2-a-days, and that's what it was. It was you had breakfast, morning practice, and then lifting weights, and then eat or lunch, night practice, dinner, and then meeting. And it's like, why is the meeting at night?
Yeah.
And then you get punished if you fall asleep, and like it never fails. You see, like maybe the third day you see like players standing up because that's the only way not to fall asleep. But you were exhausted. Yeah. So, and then now, I mean, compared to like when I talk to my daughter about how, she's like, oh my gosh, you have practice today. I said, yeah, but just one practice.
That's it.
You just have the one, and then you can go to the trainer and get iced up and.
Man, and in the summer, we, it was humid in Chicago in the summer. So these 2-a-days were like, you would be sweating hard, man. Like it was rough. Those 2-a-days were like, oh, I remember that so much. You'd just be running. All your friends would be at the beach, and you'd just be.
At the where?
In Chicago.
Remember, you live in Hawaii now. You sure you want to call it a beach?
The lake. They were at the lake. There was sand at the lake.
Because when I went to the University of Buffalo, and I had friends who would say, oh, yeah, we would go down to the beach. And I was like, beach? What beach? I said, where at? Where's this beach? And they said, oh, in Rochester. I was like, isn't that more inland? I mean, it's like Rochester has a beach? You go, well, it's a lake. And you just lay by the lake. I was like, well, don't call it a beach. Because
the Hawaiians get particular about what's a beach.
Yeah. You're talking to an island person, and when you say beach, I'm like, wait a minute, what beach are you talking about? But it's the same thing with my daughter. She goes to school in Wyoming, and she was like, Dad, we're at the beach. I'm like, where? How'd you get to the beach from Wyoming? That must have been a long drive. Goes, no, Dad, it's like a lake, but they call it the beach. I was like, I know, isn't that crazy? Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, we would go to Lake Michigan, which is one of the Great Lakes, and you can't see the other side.
So yeah. Oh, Buffalo, we had Lake Erie.
Lake Erie. Yeah. So you feel like it's an ocean, but it's not.
Yeah. But you know better because you surfed in the ocean.
Now I know better.
Especially you're Kama'aina now.
I'm Kama'aina.
You should know better because you live in Hawaii and you're Kalani Elwood. You one of my brothers. Not brothers, you brothers.
Brada. Yeah.
Even your shaka is getting pretty good.
Yeah, I used to always do it like that, but then I've seen so many guys in traffic give it to you that way or this.
Yeah, it's kind of loose. Even it's kind of like even your fingers don't even go down. It's kind of like because it's got to be loose.
It's got to be loose.
Yeah, you can't tighten. It needs to be loose.
Yeah, it needs to be loose.
See? There's your participation trophy, offensive lineman Kalani Elwood.
There you go.
So you are Samoan. See, we're related. Yeah. You went from quarterback, and the coach said,
no,
go over there and
give me the ball.
Go pull and hit guys from the side. But yeah, that's just I think we're coming up to that hour. If you guys had any questions, I actually started a Gmail account for the podcast. If people want to email it and ask us questions.
Okay, you can handle that because I had to shut down my email at grahamelwood.com because when you do political vigilante, you get a bunch of wing nuts.
What?
I had to shut it down because I just got too many crazy.
I don't see how that could happen, Graham. I mean, when you discuss the America's great two-party system that's been copied throughout the world, it's like there is no way that people would disrespect.
I know.
This is America.
I know. And Americans love healthy, reasonable discussions and debates. Nobody gets angry.
Healthy, yes.
Everyone's willing to listen to a different
Mhm.
point of view in this country.
We're very open-minded.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's like I understand your point of view and your opinions, and I respect that.
Yeah.
However,
I might not agree with it, but I respect you.
Yeah.
That's all America's known for.
however, I have more money than you, so I get to decide what's good for you, America.
That's good you're handling the emails, because I'm not. I
Yeah,
will
it's
not.
I just got to remember what it was. Because I just started today before I left the house to go to football practice. I said, hey, let me start this. And then it's, I know it has the name of our podcast. So it's something like Comedy Island. Oh, that's what it is. Comedy Island Podcast.
At Gmail.
At Gmail.
Okay.
Comedy Island Podcast at Gmail.
Nice.
Yeah. So one last thing before we go that I wanted to, because I did ask the question on Instagram. Those of you who don't follow me, I'm at comedian James Money. You can also follow at Graham Elwood. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
At Graham Elwood. That's all my social media is
Yeah.
at. It's there. It's in the corner of the thing at Graham Elwood. That's all my social media.
So
TikTok.
please,
all of it.
Follow us TikTok, Facebook, especially Facebook Reels. TikTok, Instagram, and you can either DM us there. I don't know if we'll get, because if we don't follow each other, it'll go into requests. But email us if you have any questions regarding things that we discuss on the podcast, or you want us to discuss in the future.
Email James.
Yeah, at Comedy Island Podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
So the question I put out there on my Instagram stories was discussing the James Webb telescope. That's a satellite scope that's out there in space. And took a picture, and some of you guys have seen it and seen like how many, like we're looking at stars in the sky, and actually they're not even stars, they're galaxies.
Whole galaxies.
So like, we haven't even reached the rest of our galaxy. We haven't even gone past Mars in our solar system. Oh no, we never even gone to Mars. It's the moon, right?
We've sent a probe to Mars,
Yeah.
but we haven't sent a manned spacecraft to Mars. No.
Yeah. And then we've sent satellites to fly out of the solar system. But so this picture that I took showed these hundreds and thousands of galaxies, and the question was, do you think that there are other life forms out there? And some of the people that did comment, was talking to me like I was an idiot. Like, duh. Or how can there not be? It's like, so
first of all, don't be dicks. Just to answer politely.
Which I'm okay with. I'm a comedian. I can handle it. But, again, that's be polite. But yeah, so a lot of people think that there are other life forms out there in space. I mean, there has to be. If you've seen that, if it was stars, it's like that's a funny thing. Like what, less than 100 years ago, it was just us and everything revolved around us. And then now it's like, oh no, we revolve around the sun. And the sun is just a tiny piece of this Milky Way. So wait a minute, it can't be. So that means even in our own galaxies, probably life forms that we just don't know.
Well,
I mean, why do you think we haven't seen them? Like they don't stop by or visit.
Well, we've seen UFOs. I mean, there's definitive evidence of spacecraft or some type of craft using technology that is beyond ours. We've seen there's too much video footage of spacecraft moving in ways that no aircraft on this planet can move.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be intelligent life out there, because first of all, if they're visiting us from another galaxy, that means they have advanced space technology.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason, my belief, that they're not like coming out of their spaceship to say hi to us is because Earth is the ghetto. We are not an evolved species because we're killing each other for oil and profit, and religion and governments and all this. We're a life form that kills each other for insane reasons. We need breathable air and drinkable water to survive, yet we poison the very environment we need to survive. So an intelligent life form is going to be like, these guys are nuts.
I got him, folks.
Yeah, I know he was teeing me up for a bit. That's a new bit I'm working on.
I got the vigilante to come out.
I wanted the vigilante to come out. So, but yeah, that's exactly the idea that people who are arrogant enough to assume that we're the smartest, we're the only intelligent life form, is it defies logic just from a purely probability standpoint.
Right.
Like this is the only planet in all of these galaxies now. Like we thought they were planets. They're whole galaxies with dozens of planets within them. This is the only. It doesn't make sense. Mathematically, there's no way.
Yeah. I mean, and even if the aliens did come by, like, would they be? They must have been watching to understand, like going to what you said, like they're watching to understand, like, wow, did they just do that? Oh, that's just crazy. Or, I mean, because when we watch dogs or animals, we don't know what they're thinking really, or what, like we don't say, oh, the dog's sniffing the butt because it's trying to see what it ate.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what. So the aliens looking, they're like, why are they doing this? What are they doing? Or, I mean, that's how ICE is like. They probably came by and just couldn't understand what we were doing. I don't think they were like saying like, oh, this country has a president and this one has a queen and this one, or do they?
They probably come down and go, oh wow, they've got some really very rudimentary governing system. They're just like, oh wow, they're still doing this thing where they're drawing fake lines on a map and saying this is our country and that's yours. And because if you think about it logically, any of the wars or any of the disputes that are happening make no sense. Look at Israel-Palestine. Those cultures are almost identical. It's same thing with Northern Ireland. When the Protestants and the Catholics were fighting each other, they're both Irish. It's the same land. So they must be going, why are all these people fighting with each other? Because and the other thing too, all these galaxies with all these life forms, there could be some hostile aliens out there that could come in. If they have the technology, we're done.
Yeah. Oh, look at these people.
Yeah.
Their breath stinks.
They could literally just go, if they have advanced weaponry and advanced technology.
Or they drink salt water.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, this country has so much water for us. Ooh, and it's got like this plastic in it. So good.
They could, if they in the same way we go to countries and take their resources because we need them.
So they come over and they go, hey, we're going to give you guys some jobs, but we're going to pay you in like this crappy metal copper thing there. So,
dude, think about it. If they had advanced weaponry and advanced technology, they could come and they could subjugate us.
The Earth can be the new China.
Yeah.
And then we just so much, because we do so much work for the rest of the galaxy, and then we become like a powerhouse.
They could enslave us. It could happen.
I'm hoping for us to be good.
I'd love it if a peaceful, but
I didn't say peaceful like we dominate. I was looking for. I'm still in football mode.
We're gonna be able to dominate.
We have James Kirk, man. Is it James Kirk?
Captain Kirk.
Captain Tiberius.
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine?
James T. Kirk.
I don't think I want to be around it when the aliens come. When the aliens come, I'm just like, oh.
Because if they come peacefully and they're an advanced species.
Either way, because the world changes.
If they come peacefully, somebody here will do something dumb. Some government, probably America, will shoot them and blow them up, and they'll go, fuck these guys.
You get that general in every alien movie that goes, fire now.
Yeah, they're coming after attacking us. Like, we're so warlike that they'll just like either go, well, these guys are idiots and they'll blow us up, or there'll be a hostile alien force with superior weaponry, and we'll literally be like, a tribe with bow and arrows fighting guns. Like, that's what'll happen, and they'll just.
Oh, if it was the other way around, like they had like they were so advanced in travel, but their weaponry was just horrible. Like, or maybe like chocolate kills them. So they shoot chocolate because you fight people with what you fear. You use the tactics of so if I'm afraid of fire, I'm going to use fire against you. So they're aliens and they're like, oh, chocolate kills them. And they come in and go, oh, let's just shoot chocolate at these humans. And we're like, no, so good. It's like, here's this 45. It's like, oh, we win United States of Earth. Let's go. I mean, it could. We don't know.
Let's hope there's chocolate shooting aliens that come here and turn this.
And marshmallows.
Turn this into Candyland or Willy Wonka.
We're from planet S'mores. We've come for your graham crackers. Well, look at that. I have a problem with talking like this. My hand keeps doing this thing. Is that saying something? Or
I think this is the like alien story of like a 7-year-old. You're just like, they're gonna come shoot chocolate at us.
Yeah. I mean, again, because we never know. We don't know. But then they got these amazing travel system, but they got these really crappy weaponry.
That's amazing.
We never know. Or they just here shoot like how Monsters Inc. like the screens powered their power plants, and then they found out it was laughter. What if the aliens that come down, it's women moaning? It's like the moans. The moans helps keep the electricity on in my monster house.
So James is just thinking about chocolate and sex. So that's what's happening right now.
Valentine's, that's all women want. On Valentine's, that is all women want. Chocolate and sex. So
there's the Valentine's Day aliens are coming to attack with chocolate and sex.
So watch yourself. Be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah. Don't forget to email us at Comedy Island Podcast at Gmail. And then coming soon, the Comedy Island Podcast with Graham and James will be on Spotify, the audio version. Spotify, Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, and you can listen to it while you're driving.
Yeah.
Or cleaning the house.
And you can just watch it, the replays on my YouTube channel as you're watching it now. But like you said, we're going to start putting the audio out there for you to consume on all of the audio platforms for your local podcast. So this is perfect.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys tuning in with us, and hit us up. We love to chit chat, comment in our comments on our posts. We definitely would reply. So if there's a post that we put out that you like, comment, share, follow. All right, we got to go check out the people that.
All right.
Best closer.
We're just talking baseball. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube, Facebook, and rockfin.com. And everybody checking out Stand Up Honolulu. And I'm Graham Elwood.
I'm James Money.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Mahalo. That means thank you.